Good evening, traders. It's Carlos over here at GAR Capital. It is Sunday, October 18th, 2015. It's time for a weekly recap and overview for the upcoming week. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. First of course, the risk advisory. All trades are assumed with the risk of possible loss of capital. Use information at your own risk and practice proper risk management, as well as risk tolerance towards your account and margin requirements with your broker. All right, guys, let's go ahead and go over our trades for last week. Bring up our template. All right, so as you can see here, we came out of the rough month that we were having, first couple of weeks, first 10 days actually. We were down as much as what I want to say 300 pips almost. We were down for a little bit. As you can see here, we had a very rough couple of days, 10 days to say the least. At least my traders could tell you that. But we held on strong. We kept grinding, kept going. Had a couple of positions stay with our analysis, and we just had a nice little win streak here, as you could see. We came back from our losses, and we closed up. Uh, we ended the week on a strong note. We're still not positive yet, but we're gonna get there. We had about 4 positions open on Euro USD, which gave us a nice combined profit. We had dollar yen that gave us some profit. Uh, Aussie, we went short on Aussie, and it gave us a little bit there, but we kind of mitigated the risk there with that position. With that being said, I think we can go ahead and continue the momentum. Definitely. We had some positive economic data from the U.S. on Thursday with the industrial numbers. We also had the initial jobless claims, which was the lowest since 1973. So that boosted the dollar right away from an overbought Euro USD market. We're going to go ahead and look at that here in a second. Let me go ahead and see what we do have open currently. I'm looking at here through my tablet, not on my screen. We are about 23 pips up on our position on the euro dollar. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that chart. I have it on my other screen as well. As you know, if you follow my Instagram, I run on 3 screens. Once I get everything set up, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go over my trading desk and go over the tools that I use to trade daily and what works for me and what I use. I'm actually in the middle of moving apartments. So once I get my table set up and everything is all set up, I'm gonna go ahead and do a YouTube video going over exactly what I use and the tools I use to trade profitably in this market. But if you follow my Instagram, you see that I do use 3 screens. So I do have the Euro USD right now on 2 screens. We're looking at it right now. We're trading at 113.57. We sold at 113.81. So we are looking good right now. Let's go look at a 30-minute chart. Oh, definitely seeing something. As you can see, a couple of pivot points here. 2, 3. Love it. Looking nice. Let's go ahead and look at an hourly. That's what I keep up is the hourly chart. Again, a couple of pivot points. 1, 2, 3. Looking good so far, guys. Looking a little bit of selling in the market right now in euros. Uh, it broke that 114 handle. Will it last? I didn't think so personally. We rode all this. We were very patient on this trade, but we definitely got a long way back for a retrace. This is right here a 4-hour chart. As you could see, back in September, we were riding from the lows, and we were definitely keeping up with the trade, and we were long dollar, and it kind of hurt us a little bit, but we came back, and the dollar came back as always. We all know that the dollar economy is the strongest right now. Not everyone's running out to buy euros. So this is definitely a trader's market where everyone's just trying to find exactly what the best bet is. A lot of technical analysis out there, but you know, right here you could see 2 resistance points. It wasn't going to break 115. It just couldn't handle that right now. So right now, as you see the sell-off coming in, we are definitely looking into getting back into the 111 handle. We got a long way to get there. Will it happen this week? Well, we do have ECB coming out, and when Draghi speaks, you can expect volatility. So we're going to go ahead and look at that as well. Let's take a look at a daily. Well, as you see, a couple of points coming up. Definitely could see the retrace coming in, but it's still basing around 100 pips around 100 to 150 pips on a daily. So we're still going to keep an eye on euro dollar and still shorting it. With that being said, but as of right now, it's picking up a little bit at 113.62. We're still looking pretty solid. But with that being said, we're just going to stay patient. Nothing really going on right now. Not like we're going to make any trades. But there's one thing I did want to go over with you guys. It was Aussie yen. And you're probably asking yourself, why Aussie yen? Well, the Aussie, as you know, has been bought like crazy. And we're going to take a look at it here. Look at this rise. Almost meteoric rise of about, what, 300 pips here? Yeah, and it's just been rising and rising and rising. This is an hourly chart. But the reason I'm looking at the Aussie right now, we have at 10 o'clock Eastern, I sent an email to the clients and I put an Instagram post. We have Chinese GDP today, uh, third quarter GDP numbers. The expectations is 6.8% growth quarter over quarter for the Chinese economy. The Aussie, if you want to trade the Chinese yuan, you really can't. But there's a way to do it with the Aussie dollar. That is the way. That's a correlation for it. So when China hurts, the Aussie was hurting. A couple of weeks ago when we had the Chinese economic news, yeah, you could see that it did bounce back. Of course, this was last month. See that rise. We'll take a look at it daily, and just the volatility you could see. It was falling and falling and falling, and right here, this big drop around August. This is when all the Chinese news came out, manufacturing, industrial issues, and that drop came right in. Then we back up a rise here. On a daily, we do see a little bit of a base. I am a little biased on the short for the Aussie yen. The yen is the safe haven for most investors and traders. So if we do get a soft economic report from the Chinese, you definitely want to go ahead and trade Aussie yen to the downside. We're gonna stay up until tonight, a little later than usual, and look at the report and see if we can get in at a good price. We're not gonna go and predict. I don't want to get in beforehand. I want to see the trend. I want to see where we go from there and make sure to mitigate risk. So right now we're on hold. We're just gonna make sure we're looking at our charts. Let's look at the hour right now. I don't see an entry point where I want to get in at the moment. Do I have a bearish bias? Sure, absolutely. I don't see China getting stronger overnight. I don't see them getting the economic data to support that'll show this Aussie rise with with the Chinese. I just don't see it right now, especially with them selling treasuries over American treasuries. It just seems that they're I wouldn't say panicking, but their stock markets right now is just it's not viable right now, the economy. And as you know, it's an export economy, and they are having there's a little pressure in China, which is putting pressure in the equity markets a month ago, so of 2 months ago, excuse me. So with that being said, we definitely want to keep in mind the Aussie and the Chinese GDP number, and that's today at 10 p.m. Also get industrial production. If you remember, a month ago, I believe, or a couple weeks ago, we had Caterpillar on a conference call. Caterpillar being the industrial company, the machine company that makes the heavy machinery. They do big work, well, a lot of sales in China. So you can know what China does with the Caterpillar conference call, and they had a really bad call on that. So you know what I want to do? I want to take a look at Caterpillar. Let's take a look at them. That's something I really don't do much here on the on the web call that we do together. But as you can see, came up a little bit from the lows. People bought the dip. But do you see something that I see here? This is on the 30-minute chart. Obviously, no trading right now, but you're starting to see volume picking up. Absolutely. Uh, will Caterpillar be traded on Monday morning? I think so. I think so. Looking at a 4-hour chart, it's just been bearish. It's just been bearish all around. I think that's kind of a signal of the softening Chinese demand and a softening Chinese economy. So again, just something to look at. So let's go back to our Aussie yen trade. Okay, let's take a look at the weekend review. Let's go over it Monday. Monday, not much going on. We other than the federal election here for the Canadians. So their election day is Monday. We do have some FOMC speakers, but what's the same thing they're going to say over and over? When is the Fed going to raise? We don't know when we're going to raise. Is the economy good enough to raise? Yada yada yada. Rinse, wash, repeat, basically. So I take it as background noise. I really don't think about it as much, guys, until we get a definitive answer from Janet Yellen or an FOMC report or an actual Fed meeting. Ignore these. Ignore them. Tuesday, Governor Carney speaks. It's going to be more of the same. England is not going to raise rates until the Americans do. Bottom line. Just repeat that to yourself if it's going to happen. We also have building permits. Nothing really big. Yellen's going to speak. Nothing's going to happen again until we have an FOMC meeting, until we have a Fed meeting. People speaking doesn't mean much other than a couple of pips here and there. The rest is just speculation. Canada. We had the elections on Monday. We're going to have the Bank of Canada monetary policy report, also the rate statement and overnight rate. And that's also going to come in with crude oil inventories. As you know, the US was stockpiling crude. Now the Saudis are stockpiling crude to reach record high. So definitely oil is coming on to the point of stockpiling. A lot of supply, low demand. With that being said, let's take a look at WTI. Excuse me, I'm coming a little bit of a cold, but I'll live. Crude oil's up a little bit. Let's see a 5-day chart. Yep, just pretty flat today. 47.35 until it breaks that 50. That's what the old traders are looking at. That 50 handle. I don't know if it's going to break down to the 40 handle anytime soon, but it's been pretty flat. Then we also have the Bank of Canada press conference after the rate statement. Will they hold the rates until to half a point? Again, speculation, but the Canadian dollar will be something to look at for us. You know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at that chart. Dollar CAD. Well, definitely even after the dollar news and the strong economic reports from the United States, the dollar CAD was still down. What does that tell you? That tells you that the Canadian dollar, a lot of confidence in it, and number two, the currency was overbought. You're talking about 134. Let's take a look at that in a month candle standpoint. That level has not been reached since 2008. And remember, 2008, oil was trading at a very low. Have we hit resistance points here? Do you see what I'm seeing here? Oh yeah, definitely see it. You can see that it's coming back down. It's correcting a bit. But then you'll think to yourself now, well, how does that work with oil? Again, oil is correlated with the Canadian dollar, but not 100%. You still have buyers in the market who want to sell and speculate on the Canadian dollar. I think the elections right now are going to play a big part in it, and the Canadian rate decision as well. Thursday, big day, guys. We're going to be up on Thursday, of course. We have British retail sales. We have the euro rate as well. So we got a rate week. We also got the ECB press conference. That means more Draghi, more and more volatility. We also got unemployment claims. That's every week, but we had a great week last week. And we have existing home sales, consumer confidence from the euro, PMI for Japanese. But euro right here is what we're looking at, around 7:45 to 8:30. We're gonna look at our charts, and that's where everything's coming up. Will the euro drag lower from its highs, or will it bounce? That's the question. But we'll keep an eye on everything, of course, leading up to it. We'll look in to see what we do from there. French Flash PMI, more PMI, and core CPI for the Canadian dollar. So we have, I would say, the three currencies to look at. We're going to look at the Aussie tonight. We're going to look at the Canadian dollar on Tuesday and the euro on Thursday. So those are the three pairs I want us to really focus on, guys, is the euro, the Canadian dollar, and the Aussie. So with that being said, we're going to keep those an eye with dollar. The dollar being stronger, and also the yen. So I always want to use my dollar and yen as kind of like the base change, where I want to use it as the bellwether, where I can see the difference and change in the currency compared to those two stable, quote unquote stable currencies. Um, we don't really, I don't really trade as much on the Kiwi or pound. Doesn't say I never do, but those tend to fluctuate like crazy. You're talking about ranges of about 100, 150 pips to 200 pips daily. Euro does that sometimes, but not to the, it's not as prevalent as it would for the British pound. And a lot of my traders don't like to handle that volatility, and I don't blame them. So I try to steer away unless we find a really good opportunity. But we'll take a look one more time at the our open position on euro dollar. This is a 4-hour chart. Let's take a look at 30. And it's coming up a little bit now. It's coming up a bit. Let me go ahead and confirm our exact entry point. Yeah, 113.83 is when we got in. So we're still looking solid. A little around 18 pips in the green. Our goal is still 500 pips, guys. We still have 2 weeks to get it, and we can definitely get it. Uh, we play our positions right, manage our risk well, we'll get there, definitely. So tonight, guys, if you're gonna stay up, my overseas guys, if you're up early, I want you to go ahead and take a look at the Aussie yen, and keep in mind for the Chinese GDP tonight. I will be on WhatsApp tonight. You always have access to my email, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me again. Feel free to join our chat room as well, just for members only. And again, we're just gonna find our opportunities, just like always. We're gonna stay patient, find our opportunities, and then we'll always profit. And of course, anybody who's subscribing and has not joined us yet, interested in our service and analysis, our YouTube videos are free to the public. Email us, garcapital@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, garcapital. I haven't gotten on Twitter as much as I should. Most of my clients are not on Twitter yet, so again, if more of my clients ask me to jump on Twitter, I will. Instagram is more prevalent. I use that more as well, but that's at garcapital. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, of course. If you like this video, if you have any comments, please leave them below. And to all my clients, I hope you guys had a great weekend. We'll go ahead and stay up for a couple more hours. We're about 2 hours away, an hour and 45 away. GDP, industrial production, retail sales. Guys, we need to keep an eye on China. So we'll keep that in mind. If there's no trade available, there's no trade available, but we'll go ahead and keep in mind. And if you have any questions, guys, again, feel free to email me at any time. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And with that being said, guys, you guys have a great Sunday evening, and we'll see you next Sunday, guys. Have a good